around 10, 15 years old that was put together to honor you, the students, and that's what makes this so fun. And as you probably know, this is a day very special to them in the classroom that they've gotten to know for whatever reasons, and there's a wide variety of reasons that you students who are in here have really made a difference in what those things are. When you hear how the day goes, you'll see how that goes, because you'll hear some words said about you, why you're so special, and we love to hear that, and it's really neat for us.
And he is my honored Argo because he always tries his best in everything that he does. And this year, the musical and football season were at the same time, so Christian had no rehearsal before he got on stage for the musical, and he just gave it his all. He danced, he sang, he didn't know any of it, but he did it, and I'm so happy he's in my class.
I know this girl's going to be fine no matter where she goes, because this is her first AP class. She wants to be a theater arts major. She is working really hard, and I just wanted to let her know that every day she comes into tutoring to make sure she understands and that I see you.
She's got the best energy. She's so full of life. This year I'm fortunate to have her as a TA, and she makes my day every day. She's always smiling. Well, you can't see it behind the mask, but her eyes are smiling, and you brighten any room you're in. So thank you for being you.
The hardest working kid. He is like wick smart, intelligent, and no matter who I put him with, he is like so polite and works so well with his like peers. But the other reason I picked him is Tyler's a little bit quiet, and there's nothing wrong with that because I'm a quiet person too. But sometimes quiet people, especially if they're doing really well, sometimes they blend in. And I just want to make sure that Tyler knows that I 100% see him and all his amazing work, and I want all of you to see him as well and see how just diligent, smart, incredible, amazing person he is, and his really, really kind heart that I see too, and I hope you see that in yourself.
I love Naomi because she's sassy, because she fights with me every day, because she puts strange random quizzes on my board like, what, did you pay $50 to eat meat aspic? And she believes that she could possibly steal Atticus Finch away from me, but we know he's my husband and not hers. And I also picked Jasmine because, well, she's little sunshine here is Miss Creativity, who every day wants to show me some random strange picture she draws, who wants to share her romance novel she's writing, and both of them now are together in the same period, so it is just a delight. And then I'm here for Miss Laz as well, because Miss Laz isn't here, so this is Cody, and was Miss Laz's pick because she had him for 2 years for sophomore honors, and her TA, and he comes in sometimes, and he's always a gentleman, and he's smart and kind and works really hard, and he decided to be her TA when she was really begging people, I need someone, and he stepped up. So here are my 3 beautiful Argos.
Her because she's got this wonderful heart. She will work with anyone, anytime. You can move her around the room. This person needs some support. She will go and help them. She's inquisitive. She likes Spanish, so I had to choose her for that alone. So I'm glad to have her in my class. She's wonderful.
She is amazing. She does everything that I ask her to. I can tell that she's always smiling underneath her mask, and she's just a delight to have in my room.
If there's any student that brings personality to a class, it's Travis.
It's not
Name the personality, he's probably there. But, he makes class fun. He gets everyone engaged in the class. Everyone pays attention because they're waiting to see what he's going to say. But also, like, at the semester, when schedules changed, suddenly he wasn't there, and the whole class just kind of sighed, like, oh. And then he walked in, and suddenly applause. So this goes to show what kind of engagement he has in the class for the rest of the class. So I'm really thankful to have him in my class.
Like, brightens your day. He's always upbeat, and he brings really positive energy to class every single day. He also comes with a willingness to learn every day. He also works really well with others and treats others very kindly. He has a really good sense of humor, so he always likes to make jokes, and he always likes to talk about funny things, and he's very inquisitive. And so, what else? I just love talking to him about everyday life and things that he likes to bring up. He's really quirky. He keeps things interesting, he's really involved in choir and musicals, so he's really busy, and he's doing lots of stuff. So he's active and just involved in our school, and he's just an all-around really awesome person. If you get a chance to meet him, you're gonna really like him.
And he's still doing fine. He's doing just great. It's making me really proud. He's always on to ask questions. He's engaged. He does a great job interacting with his peers. He's just, aside from that though, he's a cool human being, fun to talk to. He's doing cool stuff with his life, and it's just, he's the kind of person that's like, I'm really glad to have this person in my chemistry class. Any kind of student like this reminds me of why I do this job. It's a wonderful personality, and it's a really pleasurable hearing. Congratulations.
I'm really proud of you for being here and giving us the opportunity to, just be there for you, and you trusting all of us when you're here. And you're making great choices and doing things differently than you've ever done before, and I'm so proud of your self-growth. And you've got great jokes. I think that's probably my favorite time with you, is when you've got all your jokes and you're lit up and on fire. I just want to say that I appreciate you and our time together, and I really think that you're going to do something amazing with yourself in the future. I'm looking forward to hearing about you and what you're doing. If you have jokes, I've got ears, and if you've got tears, I've got tissues, and if you need a hug, I've got one too.
He would actually come in every day and say, "Buenos dias, senora." And I thought, oh my gosh, there's someone out there. It's so nice to know. This year, he has no problem in first period calling me over. And when I walk over, he asks me a question. And this has done a great deal of good for his class, because now they know I'm really not that scary. And they can also call me over for help. But Anthony never settles for less than his best. He may groan a little when I introduce a fantastic project to demonstrate their mastery of Spanish, but he gets right to work and does a job that surpasses most of his peers. And I just want you to know I appreciate you, and I also appreciate he likes Spanish. At least you fake it really well. And I hope that you continue next year with Spanish 3.
Rodriguez, and so I had her in my level 2 Spanish class 3 years ago, and then with the pandemic she actually studied in a Spanish-speaking country, so this year she's back for my AP class, and she's shared with me a lot of the things that she's learned over there, and there's a Spanish teacher that always brightens my day, and every day she comes in with a smile as well, and she's very upbeat, so thank you. It's a pleasure to have you back, and thank you.
And he's awesome. He runs his mile every week, and he's actually trying to get better. A lot of the kids are like, what's the slowest I can go to get credit? He's trying to get faster. So he had a goal to break 10 minutes, and he's broken 10 minutes. And now he's working steadily towards 9. Every time I see him, he's pushing himself harder, and then he's hyperventilating and gasping and different colors. And I'm like, why are you running so hard, Mom? He's like, I gotta break 9 minutes. So he's a great kid, and he's also an awesome Frisbee player. We play in between different periods. He's mastered skipping off the carpet and off the hard track. So he's a great kid, great attitude. He works hard. He's a good Argo.
One of the best things about teaching freshmen is watching them grow. This is Pablo. He is now a senior. I had the pleasure of getting to know him in beginning drama 9th grade year, and then in English for his junior year, and he is so talented. You may notice him because he's normally our villain in our school plays, but in real life, he is a sweetheart. He is so kind, he's so funny, he's so thoughtful, and even though I do not have him this year, he comes to visit me every day. And when I say every day, during back to school night, really great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with your sense of humor. So he brings his father to my class. His father's like, why are we here? He's like, well, this is the part of my day where I stop and say hello to Mrs. Smith. And then they leave. He's absolutely amazing, and I want him to know just how much I appreciate him, and I know that you are going to do so well in life. So thank you, and we have our handshake. So we're going to do our handshake.
Mrs. Cable, I'm the librarian here, and Carmen Tran has been this wonderful library science student, and she's been super organized and so responsible and trustworthy, and she's like probably touched like all these books that had something to do with something in here, and so she has like this lasting impression, as I tell my students, of things that we all participate and we might use in the future. And so I'm so happy to have had you and to be able to rely on you.
With already a rough year, there's no better way to start my day than to see Joseph first thing every morning. He greets me with the greatest smile underneath his mask, but it's always a good morning, ma'am. is how he addresses me, and every way it's okay ma'am, thank you ma'am, no I wasn't talking ma'am, no that wasn't me ma'am. And I always say, you don't have to call me ma'am, and he goes, okay Miss Burcham, yes Miss Burcham. But as the years progressed, he's keeping me up to date with how he's doing in the Explorers, and do you want to see my Explorer video, and hey Ms. B, I'm working the parade and it's in your neighborhood, and I'm just so proud to see the growth that he's had this year in my class, and as a student this year, and so I'm just so proud, and so that's the reason that I picked him. It's just so great to start my day with him. And then it's so great to end my day with Nayeli in 6th period, that the greatest, light in the morning of my day, and then the greatest light at the end of the day is with Nayeli, that I can always hear her giggling in the back of the class, and I know that she's always on task and doing what she's supposed to be doing, but like I said at the beginning, it's just been such a rocky year, I think, years for so many of us, and especially for me, but it's just so great to just the smile underneath the mask, but we can all see it in our eye, in each other's eyes, but she's just always so positive, and so proud of her with the college that she's accepted to, and she's emailing me, and I got accepted to this college, and it may not be my number one, sorry to tell her that. It may not be my number one, but I got accepted to this, and can we talk about, what did you do, and let's talk about this, and we're going back and forth this year, and so I'm just so proud of her, and just so proud of both of them.
Haley has made tremendous progress since I first met her freshman year, both academically and behaviorally. Her grades and her school spirit are reflected in her grades. It makes me happy to see how much she cares. I enjoy hearing her telling me about how well she's doing and recognizing how far she's come. I'm very proud of the successful young woman that she's becoming.
She just is amazing in so many different ways and helps me all the time with anything that I need. I love seeing her walk in. I have some fun nicknames for her, and she just is such a good sport. So I'm just happy to have her, and she's stuck with me for the next 3 years.
Eli is actually very much a breath of fresh air. He jumps right into the task at hand. We did have an initial rocky start. Would you agree with that? Yeah. Eli likes to point out some things to me, like keeping me in check if there's any error on the whiteboard, or if I really mess up something on technology, like I can't figure something out. He was right there to point it out to me. I mean, every error he was just right there. But we worked through a lot of that, and our rocky start has evolved into a mutually respectful relationship, interlaced with a lot of humor. Very great sense of humor. And he's wise beyond his years. That's 100% true, wise beyond his years. And he shows me daily that he's a warm, kind, and compassionate young man. I feel blessed to have him in my criminal justice class. I love that Eli and I had a chance to reboot and start fresh with absolutely no judgment. Our rocky start has now evolved into smooth sailing. So for that, I want to thank you. I've enjoyed our year together. We still have a little bit left, but for that, I want to thank you.
Just a happy kid that it's hard to be in a bad mood when Izzy's in your class. I used to love the ridiculous questions that he would ask and the way that he would ask them in class. And before second period, he'll come by and knock on the door and say, hey, Mr. Cox, that's all I need to start my day. I love this kid to death. He's the best. I have two, but my second one, Zakai McAllister, is not here today. For anybody who's ever had Zakai in their class, I would argue that she is the single most talented and greatest Argo to ever be at this school. She can sing. Her athletic prowess is off the charts. She's one of the smartest, most intelligent people I've ever been around. She goes above and beyond in everything she's ever done in my class. If I need a 2-sentence answer, she'll write 3 pages. That's just the type of person she is.
Only having seniors and only having a semester, it's really, important to get that connection quick. So I was able to with Daniel. He came in every day with a happy disposition, smiling and asking questions about everything about civics, and especially being, a second language learner. He had a lot of questions, and it was great to have the inquisitiveness to end the day.
She's the one that participates. She's the one that will say answers, will ask questions. So I basically just teach her in that class. She also keeps me in check because I'm so frazzled. They both keep me in check because I'm frazzled all the time. Even though I write things on the board, I still don't know what I'm doing. So I always look at her and like, what am I doing? She goes, oh, this is what you're doing. And she does the same thing in Spanish 1. She participates. She's super mature compared to all the other kids in there. So I always look for her for like, what am I doing? And she says, okay, this is what you're doing. We did this yesterday. Okay. So I picked them for the same reasons. They're great girls. I hope you get to have them in your class.
That his presence is here because when you enter the class, he goes, Mr. Nguyen! That's when I know, all right, Luis, he comes and he's ready to learn. And I really appreciate that because in first period, it's our smallest class, it's our quietest class, but I know Luis, he's always ready to learn, and like, I appreciate the effort he puts into the class, and he's passionate about everything he does. He's also the skate club president, and he's trying his best to get a skate park here in Garden Grove. So if you guys want to sign his petition, make sure to reach out to my boy Luis. And I just want to say thank you for being in my class, Luis.
I'm so blessed to have him for close to 2 years, but I'd like to recall something that he did almost every day of first semester this year. He would come in and tell me what day it was in terms of historical significance. And to tell you the truth, every day at break, I could always count on Justin to come talk to me. And to tell you the truth, it was a little memento that I just really cherished. And I wanted to let you know that. It made my day every day. And it was something just so unique. And I've always remembered that. And I called his mom at the end, I hope you don't mind me telling this, at the end of first semester and let her know what a joy he is in class and how hard he works and what a great critical, creative thinker he is. One last thing, I don't have any children of my own, but Justin, if I did, I would want him to be just like you.
And over competitive would probably, really characterize this. And so, again, I try to exaggerate that aspect of their personality often. And so, when she'd ask, well, what did I get? Did anybody get better? I'm like, oh, yeah. It didn't matter if they did or didn't. Oh, yeah. And so, anyway, and so she just, had to be the best. And but I just have to keep her in place. So I refer to her as Beta. And so, as just a way of, just keeping her in check. But Tracy, on the last score, second place. Tracy's always number one, and she's been number one throughout this whole year. She didn't know it until now, but she knows now.
Not only is she intelligent, not only is she diligent in what she does, but she has a gentle compassion that I find exceedingly beautiful in her. She makes my day. I end with sixth period, I end with her there, and it always turns into going home with a smile on my face. Our motto here is pride, performance, and the pursuit of excellence. And I think she epitomizes these ideals, and I find that to be something so refreshing.
So I chose On because she's very quiet in class, but she's very diligent. She gets her work done. She asks questions, doesn't hesitate to clarify things. And then we have Priscilla. She loves to talk. 5 minutes into class, well, what are we doing, Mr. Sai? What are we doing? I'm like, Priscilla, I just told everybody what we're doing. But she was busy talking. But she always has such a big smile on her face. They both do. And she kind of brightens up the classroom and kind of gets everybody involved in, what we're learning that day. So I'm hoping that, I've encouraged both of them to go into the medical field because we need good people in healthcare.
Alex is one of the most hardworking, self-motivated, intelligent, and caring people I know. He's continually helping other students at lunch and in class. He would and does whatever he can for others. And my hope for Alex is that he realizes what an amazing person he is and that he stands tall and proud. And I want him to realize how special he is. And he's like a son I never had. and I never got to have. And I feel blessed that he chose me to be the recipient of his help, time, and friendship. I literally love him and will never forget him. I will be his forever cheerleader. I chose Douglas because I first wanted to choose him as his freshman year, but we were limited to one. And I chose him because he actually started off struggling. We had kind of a not the greatest relationship, but you know, I had called his coach, and you know, he ended up turning it around in bio. And then he started staying after class and helping me. He was such a caring person, and during my time off when I had an injury, he would email me and check on me. And I just thought that was so beautiful, and he made me really feel cared about. He spends every lunch in my room, and he's a senior, and I'm going to miss him so much. He's grown into an amazing young man, and I can't wait to see where he goes from here. And you too, Douglas, if I could have a son.
If I could pick a whole class to be honored at Argo, I pick them. I could only pick one, I picked two. The first one is Twee. She is one of the most dedicated people to this school, not just yearbook, but to this school that I have ever known. She's weirdly at every game that I go to, and so I don't think she gets enough credit for everything she does for this school. The second one is Chloe. She's in there. If you know her, not much needs to be said about her. I'm trying to hire her to do this job next year because she has just helped me in so many ways.
Because she got all 20-something kids in her class to throw me a surprise engagement party. She even got Betty to call me into the office, and I thought I was in trouble because I didn't take attendance, but when I came back, my classroom had balloons, flowers, a little buffet table with snacks. There was even pizza delivered during third period. Like, what pizza place is open at 10 o'clock? I don't know. But I am so touched by her gesture, and I don't think any student I have had or will ever have could top this gesture.
I first met Izzy on those Zoom meetings back in fall of 2020, and he made an impression on me then. He always made sure to acknowledge my silly jokes, my dad jokes in the class. And I don't know. And then we got in person, and he's just been a pleasure. And he's one of my favorite students I've ever had here at Grove. And he's always been respectful. And I just want him to know how much I appreciate him.
Of all of my students, it's never ceased to amaze me how much she pays attention to every single word I say, to the point where she'll even correct me if I mess up. And this year, I decided to take a risk with her and asked her to be a section leader of one of my sections. And she has totally risen to the challenge and created so much unity within that soprano section in her class. And it has just been, it has been just such an honor to see her grow as a mature person. And I know that we still have our rough patches, but she's always going to hold a soft place in my heart, and she's welcome back anytime.
Both of them are excellent, well-rounded students who always want to make a difference in the school and the community. Despite the busy schedule this year, they have managed to dedicate an incredible amount of time, effort, and energy to to plan out and carry out a Vietnamese culture night, a sold-out event. Lillian, I know her both at the personal and academic level. To me, she's the most well-rounded, family-oriented, and resilient student I have ever had. On the surface, I know most of us don't see the challenges she has endured in her life, but what I admire her the most, she can tackle those obstacles with grace and gratitude, and always maintains a positive outlook in life and everything around her. I don't think many of us could do that, but she could. So I couldn't be more proud to have been their teacher, their advisor, and I will miss them very much.
But she's being realistic, she looks things at a practical level, and that's why I want to choose her as an honors Argo, who's an amazing student. For the last 4 years, she has made so much progress at the school, and one thing that I chose her is because of her dedication and like stepping forward. For the Vietnamese Culture Night 2019 and 2022, like she volunteered as a backup dancer, even though she doesn't know how to dance, anything like that. But she volunteered to step up in front of everyone, like 100 people. Even I'm here, I'm getting nervous. But she said, just step up on the stage and just do it. And because they are my amazing Argo, so first I give them the Argo cast, as you already know, 16 Argo cast for them. And also I made them flowers. So these are flowers. They love flowers. There you go. There you go. What made me Argo?
Just overnight, he switched it on, and he just began to work, spend extra time with me, and bring his grade up. I mean, it even became a fun journey for me to just after every quiz and test, like I would grade his first, input his score, and just see just little by little. And he was realistic. He knew it was going to take almost the whole semester to bring his grade back up. And it was just a fun journey to go with him and just see how hard he worked and how far he brought his grade up and how hard he's worked for me. Besides an amazing student, he's a respectful young man. I enjoy all the extra time we've been spending in tutoring and our conversations we've had all year long.
He's a dancer. He's in the school musical. He's a choreographer. He works in the cafeteria. He now works at Cold Stone. And I wonder, how do you have that energy and yet also bring that energy to first period? So along with the cup of coffee that I have in the morning and his, positivity and optimism, I'm at least able to wake up a little bit more in first period thanks to you. So thank you so much.
She has taken tremendous strides in growing out of her comfort zone. She is an active participant in Argo Log. She goes to so many events that I go to, and she's there, engaged, and cheering on her school. During first period, as you know, we have students who sometimes get there late. We have students who sometimes don't show up at all to first period. And she has been my secretary. Because she's like, Ms. Martinez, do you want me to call them? I'll call them and make sure they come tomorrow, okay? Inevitably, they do. And she has managed to integrate students onto our campus that would otherwise continue to miss first period, and I'm eternally grateful for you to do that. Those are the students that I see grow so much over the years, and I just want you to know that I love you and I recognize everything that you do for the people around you. Continue to do what you do because you're making my classroom, our school, and you'll continue to make your society a better one.
But they were my oasis. When I needed a break, when I needed to smile, I would walk over to their table. I love them because they're kind, they're accepting. Like some tables, they don't want me there. They welcome me. I think they're both awkward and goofy, and I'm awkward and goofy, so I think there's a connection there. And 3D printer was her friend, Vianney's friend, and she'd print all these weird things and give me things, and so I just have a connection with them. I love them, they're great students, and you meet these people that you can trust. Their hearts are just kind, their hearts are soft. These two, I fully trust. I would trust with my life. They're just that kind of people. So these are my
I love them so much. As you can see, they're just amazing peeps. And I'll start with Daylin. Daylin, I had her last year. She came to me just like showing off her amazing nature skills. Because we had Zoom, and so in the Zoom window, I could see her bedroom. She had all these, she made little leaves, like vines. Like, she must have had, hundreds or thousands of these little paper leaves. And she loves nature, and then she would share with me her photos. And she's an amazing photographer. Nature is her game, right? Nature queen here. And I just love her. She's grown so much in the last 2 years, and she's just come around to be the most amazing young woman, and I hope she never forgets me.
You're my mom.
Yeah, I'm your mom. And then the other one I have, this is my son, Gabriel. And if you look at the back of his head, he shaved a heart for me. He was gonna put a K in there. I'm like, no, that's just too much. But he cheers me up every day, fifth period, and he kind of does this weird basketball thing. I guess because he's on the basketball team. He walks behind me while I'm teaching, and I don't know it, and he stands there hovering like he would do with the opposing team, and then I have to make
make him go to see again.
Okay, and so anyway, I love these two so much, they don't even know how much. And I want them to know that they're special to me.
As soon as I picked Jillian on the computer, I knew I picked the right one because right after that, another one of her teachers emailed me and says, you basically beat me to the punch. But I think that says a lot about her, but the other teachers. I picked Jillian because she's a cheerleader. Not because she's a cheerleader, because I think she's taken that role very seriously. She's a role model and an informal leader to the school. She's a role model in terms of her academics and her school spirit. All the teachers that have her, you know that she's a kind person, and she really makes the teaching profession a wonderful jewel in life. So I want to thank you, from all the teachers, thank you for being you.
But Abron is just fantastic, and he was an advanced student his freshman year, and now he's in my AP Stats class. And whatever period he's in, because he has switched, there's a lot more life in the room, and he's just a really kind person. He asks how I do every day, or how am I doing, and I have found that AP Stats is kind of a labor of love for some of my students, and you have to learn from your mistakes and like persevere through it. And whatever class he's in, they're a lot better at it because he's an excellent example of how the learning process truly works. So I love Abron, and I look forward to seeing him every day.
But Julian has the highest grade in my statistics class. And the reason I chose him was not just because of that, because if you know Julian's story, in 2016, he came here from Mexico not knowing any English, right? You look at his transcripts, he got C's and D's, and now he is a senior in a statistics class which is English-based. But now, a man who came over in 2016 is now getting straight A's as a senior. It speaks to his character, his work ethic, and I feel like I am watching the American dream unfold right in front of me. So, Julian is ours.
I didn't pick her because she's an effective communicator, but she is. I didn't pick her because she's an amazing poet, even though she is. I didn't pick her because she says hi to me every day. I picked her because she's genuinely kind. She's, I'm sorry, I'm like, I didn't even say anything yet. She's mindful, she's compassionate, she's curious, she's clever, she cares about people. She's an athlete, she's in Bridges, and she's just really cool. I just love you.
If you know William, you love William. William is like the sweetest thing. I had the honor of meeting him last year via Zoom, and he was like one of the handful of students that stood out because he kept his camera on all year. So like this year, like I actually knew him. I'm like, oh William, I know you. But this year I've got the full brunt of his personality, and he's just, he's like this quiet confidence about him, but he's like a leader in the classroom. So he's the one student that I can count on, like when I'm trying to get the discussion to go deeper, and like I don't want to probe the kids, like I can look to William to do that, and he makes the kids step up in his class. William, him and Karina's my second honored Argo, they're kind of opposites. Like William is like the quiet, but his sense of humor, he'll say things, and I'm like, oh my God, really William? And he's like, no, I was kidding. He's just hilarious in that way. He makes sure every day to say goodbye. He bows to me, which I love. He just is super sweet. They're both the students, though, that when they're gone, you're like, oh, just cancel class for the day. Like, how am I going to do it? Karina is a ball of energy, if you know anything about Karina. You know, she's giggling all the time. She's goofy. She reminds me of me when I was in high school. She's hilarious. Every time she walks in the classroom, she makes sure to say hello to me. She says goodbye to me. She is super intelligent. They both are. They're super bright. Karina doesn't shrink back from who she is, and that really impresses me, that she is who she is, and she stands firm in that. And I just love them both. Ms. Ortega says, has advanced from ELD-A to ELD-B in one semester. which Ms. Ortega says is quite an amazing feat. She's dedicated and committed to improving and growing in her second language of English. She comes with a positive attitude every single day and is never afraid to ask questions. She's focused on her studies, but is never too busy to help others. She exemplifies what we hope to see in all students: motivation, perseverance, and dedication. Ms. Ortega says she looks forward to seeing many more wonderful accomplishments from Jessica.
I'm honoring Brandon because I want him to know he truly makes my day better. He visits me every day, either after school, before school. And academically, he still needs some improvement, but his personality and sense of carelessness brings joy to my class. His absence in my class is truly noticeable. When you're not there, it's just a sad day. He makes everyone laugh, and I don't even think he does it on purpose. Like, it's just natural to him. It is impossible to not burst out in laughter even when I try to keep my composure. Like, I'm glad I'm wearing my mask because otherwise I would be a mess just, like, laughing. I just want him to know that I'm glad he's my student. Perrine, if you know Perrine, then you know how wonderful she is. She's the one perfect student that we all admire. She's the one that validates my teaching. I look up and she's always nodding, and I know that she wants to ask questions. She'll ask questions, and I know that I can look up and she will just know what I'm talking about. And she's the one that loves and knows the songs to all my playlists. She's singing along when other kids are like, what song is that from what century? Life in the U.S. has not been easy for her. She has made heartbreaking sacrifices, such as leaving family behind. But I know she will be rewarded 100 times. Thank you, Perrine, for being that student we all love.
Both of these girls come into my classroom every day. They ask me how I'm doing. They always offer to help me if I need help passing back papers or grading classwork. These girls are always there, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate you both.
She really brightens up my first period, and last semester I could tell the motivation wasn't really there. She got a C on one test, and she was like, oh, that was really good, I got a C, this is great. And I was like, yes, but you could do better, and I was trying to show her that she can do better. And this semester, she was one of the only few students who got 100% on the last quiz, so it really shows that she's progressing, and I can see her motivations there. She's one of the only people who answers my questions now. Even if it's wrong sometimes, she's like, yes, it's this. And then I tell her, is it? And then she fixes her answers. And so it's just really, I'm just proud of her. The motivation's there. She's happy to come in class, and I'm happy to see her.
I chose you today because of your strength and your perseverance. And all the ups and downs that are thrown at you, you keep pushing through. And I wanted to honor you today to tell you how proud I am of you, and that I look forward to hearing from you after high school to see what you've been doing and how successful that you are, because you are mature beyond your years and you have the qualities to be successful in life. And I am proud of you, and I am so thankful that I got to know you the last couple of years.
Mary does so much work behind the scenes helping out with secretary-like stuff and just keeping track of who's there, who's not there after school, and organizing, sending messages, reminders to people. Landon here, whenever you see the marching band, he's grooving like crazy, just dancing around, having a blast. And between the two of them, they really are some of the best people I've ever had the opportunity to work with. It's such a pleasure to get to know both of them. And I'm so proud of everything they've become with such integrity and fine spirits, and I'm excited to see where they go next.
Grasp concepts that are very challenging, and despite life being overwhelming as well as the content we teach being overwhelming, she consistently puts her best effort into what she does in the classroom, and I admire that very much.
Bettina demonstrated joy and drive in learning. She dove all in, and she did not retreat when it got tough. I appreciated her curiosity, her creativity, and her excellence. She's an asset to any learning institution. I hope she knows how special she is. Okay, I really enjoyed having you. Emily is a student that I had last year and this year. She's a student that changes the atmosphere around her. She came into the States last August, eager to learn English, only to find herself in a living room on a screen. But to that screen she came, and she came on fire. Her and Bettina, they came sharing and laughing and challenging. They were leaders just by who they are, Her English was very low, but she persisted, okay? But they pressed on, and they had fun with it, and they played, they played along. They didn't avoid that humiliation or failure. They learned from it, they came back in those extra Zoom, hours where you were kind of hoping nobody comes. Okay, they were there, and they made it fun, and they were like really motivated, the learning atmosphere around them. I honor her because of her quiet leadership as well. She looks for strugglers around her, both of them. They went around and saw who was struggling to help them, to pick them up, to share the lessons that they have and motivate them.